This is like a bit strange. Okay, so because we've got our parent prefab, right? That's a game object that Unity has created in memory. So it's not saved yet. It's created in memory rather than storage. So what we need to do is we need to create a game object and set this game object, this parent, as its parent. All right, it's a bit Dr. Seuss. Okay, so you have your parent game object, and then you're going to create a child game object for each of them. And what we can do is we can save that parent prefab, and it'll save all the children as a part of that prefab. So we don't really need to return that game object. I'll leave it in, but we're already able to access those game objects through the parent. So let's just say for each mesh, for each we're going to create a mesh game object with that mesh and with the parent prefab. All right. So now, parent.transform. Now we have a parent prefab with all its children game objects. All we need to do is save that parent prefab. So let's go back into our assets utility class, and we're going to create one more function, and that's going to be our save prefab asset function. Okay, so we have save mesh asset. We'll have a public static void save prefab asset with our string, which will be our folder path, and also our game objects, which will be our instance. Oh man, I'm not sure how much to explain here. There's a difference between a prefab and an instance of that prefab. Okay, so if you say, for example, you might be used to in Unity, or when the game starts, or when someone fires a bullet, game object.instantiate this prefab. So it's got like the prefab's like the template, and then it creates an instance of it. When you say new game objects, when we said new game object here and new game object here, that's creating instances that will die as soon as the program stops running. What we've got to do is create a prefab from that instance and then delete the instance. We don't need it anymore. So let's go ahead and do that. First of all, we'll create the path just like our mesh asset path. So we'll go ahead and you just have instance dot name and it's a dot prefab file. Okay, now let's create our prefab. So game object prefab equals prefab utility dot create prefab. Asset and its path, we're going to pass in the instance, and we're just going to set replace prefab options dot default. Okay, so we've got our prefab. Now we can delete our instance because we don't need that anymore. Okay, so now we say game object dot destroy immediate instance. Alrighty, and now in our mesh prefab generator, we can go ahead and save asset utility dot save prefab asset at the folder path. So that's the path that anyone specifies for this scriptable object, and we're going to save